Hey guys, yo, it's your boy MoodZi back at it again with another review for today. Right now, I finally got to chapter 60, so yes boys, we're pretty close. And with the quick progress that we're making, hopefully we catch up in no time. Cause I'm trying to drop more videos every single day. I'll try to keep this trend going on. If I feel like I need more time and I feel like the next chapter is a little bit juicy, I need to spend more time rereading it or and reanalyzing some aspects of it, then I'll probably take an extra day. But going with this pace that we're going on, I hope we can get caught up next week because I just want to finish the review so I can just start talking about what's going on currently. So the chapter begins with a classic DBZ standoff, or just anime standoff in general, where Goku and Moro are just channeling their aura and just challenging each other with to see who has the biggest dick. I mean, who has the biggest aura, totally. Goku seems to have the strength advantage in the scuffle as the same with the last chapter, but the problem still remains. Goku has the strength advantage. Goku's more agile. However, Goku doesn't have the finishing touch. So what he's doing is he's wearing himself out instead of wearing Moro down. So basically this form is basically doing more damage to himself rather than doing damage to Moro, which is pretty interesting thinking about it, because like you think if Goku's a lot stronger, he would be able to inflict more damage to Moro, but Moro is very sturdy. So Moro seems to be more sturdy than strong he is, which is pretty interesting because when it comes to Dragon Ball, the relationship between power, strength, and sturdiness seems to be very constant. Like if your power is very strong, so then your speed and attack and power and all your other stats basically are going to be really high. So it's not like Pokemon where like your nature and your type or your evolution or whatever like dictates the distribution of your stats. So nobody has like a specific distribution of stats like with Stans and JoJo, like I mentioned with Pokemon. But with Moro, he seems like he has a little bit more sturdy than strength he has, because Goku's stronger, but he just cannot damage Moro enough. So Goku's basically beating himself in this situation, and it's reaffirmed again with Miras, who seems like he miscalculated, and he narrates how Goku's actually on the verge of being defeated. However, Whis says that even though Moro exceeds the expectation of Miras in terms of strength, and he seems like he's the one who's going to beat Goku right now, he says that Saiyans like Goku are known to exhibit more power and get a lot more stronger during fighting, like getting a second wind during the fight. Whis says that Goku is not the only one capable of that. He mentions that Vegeta's as well. And Totara uses this as a perfect cutaway from the scene to cut away to Vegeta, who's still on planet Yardrat and who wants to come and help Goku fight. Vegeta asks to be teleported, but he soon realizes that he cannot be teleported because the Yardrat, who can teleport people, apparently has a weakness to his teleportation. It is weaker than the one that Goku has. He has to be able to teleport to someone he knows, and he cannot teleport to Goku at this point of time because he cannot sense him, as Goku's using Ultra Instinct and his ki is not available to be sensed. So it's up to Vegeta to try to lock into Goku and sense where he is and use the instant transmission himself. However, before we get to that point, right now what we're seeing is Goku being defeated, and sort of like the scales are swinging to Moro's favor. Goku is continuously losing more and more power, and he's losing the fight right now. And it seems that Goku's gamble hasn't come to fruition. I think he lost his gamble and he's about to lose this fight. Even Whis is commenting right now to Beerus and Miras that it doesn't seem like any miracle is gonna occur today, as Goku is like right now out of his Ultra Instinct form. Miras is panicking, and he alludes to the fact that they need to act and help. Whis looks at Miras and is a little bit disgusted by that remark, in spite of the fact that Whis sort of like has directly been responsible to saving the world many times and many occasions. He assisted and helped Goku many times. In fact, just for the fact that he's training Goku and Vegeta, even though that he's saying he's picking them to being the god of destruction or training them just in case something happens to Beerus, still, like, he's still actively like helping Goku and Vegeta, fending off and protecting their universe. Maybe he's doing it by proxy, he's trying to do it by abiding the rules. Maybe deep down Whis is not a terrible guy, but still, I just don't like how Whis and Beerus are a constant reminder that they're there, they can do stuff, but they just don't do it. But instead they actually do sometimes when they feel like it. So I just don't understand why they wrote these characters like this. I just wish if Beerus and Whis were just villains that Goku had to overcome. Like they would have been so much better. But anyways, I've spoken about that before. I've spoken about how Beerus, he's a terrible character, especially in this arc. Like he wasn't bad before, like he was sort of like digestible. He was a good character before and what he served. But in this arc, Jesus Christ, Beerus is such a terrible character. And I know that you guys freaking love Beerus. Like, we have a lot of Beerus dick riders that just love him and they say he's the strongest shit ever. But still, he's written so terribly, to be honest. And he's just there talking about how he wants to eat food and stuff. It's like, do you really need to draw that? Like, I know some people are used to theorize before that Beerus is saying this because he wants to fight. He wants to use that as an excuse to help them. But I just don't see Beerus actually interfering and fighting with Moro. And it would be so lame if Beerus actually fights Moro and beats Moro. Like, I would much rather if Moro beats Beerus, but still, we don't really need that either ways. Like, we already know that Moro is most likely stronger than Beerus at this point. But then again, Beerus is still a god of destruction. He may have an ability that could help him, but still, I digress. So we go to Moro and Goku, and Moro has officially defeated Goku, and Goku's out of his Ultra Instinct sign. Vegeta picks that up, and he says that he can confidently use the instant transmission. And he manages to succeed and teleport to Earth using one of Goku's signature moves. And now I have 3 talking points here. Firstly is the comment that the Yard Rats have regarding Vegeta. They mentioned that Vegeta is some kind of a prodigy to be able to master a technique like instant transmission so quickly. And then it is stated that Vegeta is a prodigy, but one born of hard work. Now there is a big issue here. Listen, I am not neglecting the fact that Vegeta is one of the hardest working, not in Dragon Ball, but anime characters of all time. Like, when people talk about hard work, they mention Vegeta. Vegeta is a hard-working character. However, he is a prodigy, but not because he's hard-working. And he is not someone who is born out of hard work. Yes, he had to work very hard to achieve some of the milestones that have never been achievable to any Saiyan before. But that's like saying that Vegeta is someone who's born of hard work is like saying Goku isn't. And I know probably some of the the contrasting thing between Vegeta and Goku here is that they're trying to say that Vegeta is more of hard work than Goku. But still, Goku, like a lot of the times you have to realize that you have to train smart, not train hard. Yes, you can push your body, you can go to the gym every single day and work out for 4 hours. But you can't be like, oh, I am born of hard work, that's why I have these muscles. No, you're a meathead. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to work 5 times a day, take 2 days rest, and have to manage your body correctly. Vegeta didn't manage his body correctly. He didn't have enough teachers. He had been going through a very different, inefficient path that really did not lead him to actually live up to his potential and unlock his potential. Like, if you remember the Cell Saga, Super Vegeta, the form that utilizes like really huge, intense muscles. That form has been rendered useless when Goku explains that this form is actually not ki friendly and it's useless. And Vegeta realized that and stopped using it, and the correct thing was using the Mastered Super Saiyan. So it's not that Goku is more gifted, that's why he used the Mastered Super Saiyan, it's just the approach was different. Both used different approach. Vegeta's approach of like torturing his body is an incorrect approach, and that's one of the reasons that made him like fall back and not catch up to Goku. But there's also the fact that Goku was fortunate to have like trainers. He went to the afterlife, he had like so many privileges and advantages that Vegeta didn't have. However, if we want to talk about who's actually more talented and more of a prodigy, then it's Vegeta. Vegeta was born with the higher power level. And this is something that is not for me. This is actually Akira Toriyama himself. Akira Toriyama, like in Dragon Ball Minus. he's actually talked about how Vegeta prior to Broly was the one who broke all of Saiyan records. Like, he's the character who basically was the most talented Saiyan. So how could you freaking look at me straight in the face and tell me Vegeta is not more talented than Goku? Vegeta is infinitely more talented than Goku. And I know, like, I'm sounding like I'm ranting and upset, but this just shows me one of the many examples that the people who work on Dragon Ball, sometimes they don't understand Dragon Ball. And it's infuriating. Like, I've never felt like that with Prime Akira Toriyama. When Akira Toriyama was in his prime, I've never actually read a single Dragon Ball manga, and I felt like Akira Toriyama doesn't understand his own show. He doesn't understand his own characters. And I feel like Toyotaro, despite someone who's very passionate about Dragon Ball, sometimes he misses the plot, like it goes above his head. Like, how could you write that statement and not think about, like, the actual show, not think about prior to Dragon Ball Super? You might say, well, it's a retcon. Well, it's a terrible retcon. It really is a terrible retcon. Because it feels like Toyotaro is catering to the Vegeta fanboys. We're like, oh, Vegeta fanboys, you know what? Vegeta is like hardworking, so you can sympathize with Vegeta more. However, that's not true. Vegeta is actually more talented than Goku. He's one of the most, aside from Broly, Vegeta is the most talented Saiyan in history, according to his father. So you can't really tell me that he's born of hard work. He was just a fucking idiot when it comes to training. He used to do all the bad stuff, all the bad habits. Like, obviously, like, if you're an athlete, you're a talented athlete, and you eat shit, you sleep shit, then the average Joe, if he works smart, have a teacher, he's gonna be able to defeat you. This is like the Karate Kid. I don't know if you guys watch the Karate Kid, but it's sort of like the Karate Kid with the, like, scrawny little dude who, like, seeks out the teacher, trains, and beat up the jock who's much bigger and much stronger than him. So that's what it is. So it's just infuriating. I'm sorry, like, I took long ranting on this. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about, that Vegeta finally arrives on the battlefield, and he says that he's not interested to using a Goku signature attack, and he says, Goku, don't worry, I'm not here stealing your moves, I'm not going to use instant transmission, because Goku figured out that Vegeta has used instant transmission. To me, this is not Vegeta telling Goku as much as it's Vegeta telling the audience, yo, don't freak out, I'm not stealing the main character's move. So this is one of, like, Goku's privileges when it comes to storytelling. I'm not saying that Vegeta should use the instant transmission, but it just feels like Toyotaro once again writes himself in a position where he's like, okay, I want to give Vegeta the instant transmission, but I also don't want to give him the instant transmission. You know what I'm saying? So it just felt a little bit cheap. It felt like I don't know how to bring Vegeta to Earth. I'm just gonna give him a one-off scenario where he can use instant transmission. Where I guess it's pretty interesting. I would see it, like, maybe if it's animated, they might pull it off and make it look really neat. But it just feels like Toyotaro is really talking to the audience rather than talking to Goku. And finally, we see Vegeta reverting back to his own ways, the Vegeta who calms and saves the day, not really saves the day, but he interferes in Goku's battle, and he says, well, leave it up to me, Kakarot, and he shows that cockiness and egotistical side of him, which, by the way, I really like that of Vegeta. This is classic Vegeta, and I'm really excited to see how Vegeta fares up against Moro, because he says that he has a new ability that's going to help him. I don't think he has a new power-up that is stronger than Ultra Instinct, but I think he has a new ability that probably will give him the edge in terms of, like, fending off Moro's magical abilities. So I think that's what it is. I think that Vegeta is going to fight more smart rather than Goku's approach of just trying to brutally bust through his opponent, which is kind of a nice contrast between Vegeta and Goku, because it's usually the opposite, where Vegeta's usually the person who tries to overthrow his opponent by trying to overpower them in the strength department. So I'm pretty excited, and I just cannot wait to review the next chapter. I've heard from my friend on Twitter that it's gonna be really messed up what they do with chapter 61. So I cannot wait to review it. I might drop a rant if it's actually that bad, but we'll see. But anyways, if you like this video, then please like this video. Remember to like it, comment, and subscribe. Peace, yo.